Joe Biden and Buzz Lightyear. It's where America is right now. Take a look at Biden's America. We get a report that once again we are on the brink of a recession here in the United States with much smaller than expected growth in our first quarter. And what does the president do? He takes a victory lap. He wants to talk about the fact that he created a record 4.5 million new jobs and businesses in 2021, more than any other blah, 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 blah. It's bunk, it's bullhock, it's a lie. Now, I could just say outright that Joe Biden is lying through his teeth, but then again, we are dealing with a man who is suffering from severe, serious mental decline. Therefore, maybe he doesn't fully get it, but he's lying. He hasn't created anything. The fact that people went back to work in 2021 had nothing to do with him, quote, creating jobs. It was about an economy that was artificially turned off for a pretend pandemic because, after all, we had to get Big Brother involved in every single aspect of life, period, including what gets injected into your biological system. And therefore, in order for that to happen, we had to have a sense of impending doom so that you would, quote, listen to them. And what happened to us? We turned off the rockinest, rollingest economy ever. Again, I know I've said this before, but it's that one area where Rush Limbaugh and I actually had a serious disagreement, and he talked about me on his radio program when I had said a year before the pandemic hit that the Democrats would manufacture a way to kill the economy and, of course, blame it on Donald Trump. And I had said it on my podcast. I had said it here. I had said it for weeks and months on my radio program. And one of Rush Limbaugh's producers apparently heard it, and Rush took to the airwaves to say that the economy was way too strong, and don't listen to the fear mongers talking about the Democrats would do something to derail the economy. They can't do it. It's way too strong. And about a year later, Rush had to apologize on air and say he didn't see it. He was wrong, and that was exactly what the whole point of all of the lockdowns, shutdowns, just like what's happening over in China right now. It's not about health. They don't really think they can get to virus zero. They're shutting everything down there on purpose because, again, it's all about government control. You will do exactly what we say. We will keep you locked in your homes. But it's no coincidence that they have shut down the largest city. It is their largest seaport. It is their largest place of exporting out to the world, including the United States. All of their manufacturing, the vast majority of it, done right there in the Shanghai area and using the Shanghai ports. This was about sending an economic message to the United States and to the world. I told you before that what's happening with Ukraine and Russia has been a long time coming. It's actually been 8 years in the making. There has been fighting going on over there for 8+ years. Now all of a sudden, quote, we're engaged in it and we're concerned about it, even though this has been going on for 8 years, and all of these so-called sanctions that we were going to place on Russia, I told you 2 months ago, wasn't going to affect them, wasn't going to hurt them. The initial little hit that they took from it, they not only recovered from, but the ruble is trading stronger on the world market than the dollar. Let that sink in. This was a scapegoat for the Biden economy. What was the first thing he started doing? Right after we engaged with our rhetoric of helping Ukraine and sending them aid and the crippling sanctions against Russia, he immediately said the reason we were having high gas prices and the reason we were dealing with inflation was because we were defending democracy in Ukraine. And everybody did, wait, what? What did he just say? That isn't even on any level sane. It was a lie. We were suffering at the gas pump long before Putin ever rolled a tank into Ukraine. And the recession is coming because of all the phony baloney money that Obama, Biden, and the rest of the ilk on Capitol Hill, and I include both Democrats and Republicans in this, have been, quote, giving away during lockdowns and printing all of this money. Now that it's hitting the economy, all that money we gave to schools so that they could properly ventilate that they're using for other projects and not ventilation. All of this money that we gave to all of these other organizations which had nothing to do with an outbreak, all of that phony money is now hitting the economy. And as it hits the economy, the inflation is going up. When I listen to Peppermint Patty, Jen Psaki, talk about, everything is broken. Well, you morons broke it. You broke the economy. You broke the border. You broke it. Don't, quote, build back better. Build back what we had under Donald Trump. We were energy independent, the economy was rock and rolling, and we had the southern border secure. Shazam, Batman, just go back and do that. But of course, we know they're not going to do that. So Biden needs to pivot, and he needs to talk about, hey, we have a great economy. Look at all the things I've created. You created nothing. People went back to work, and we are still not at the employment levels that we were pre-pandemic. Why? Because a lot of people are just deciding to lay around because Bernie Sanders is promising them $30 an hour. Some of us, our heads explode when we thought about, a pimply-faced kid at the drive-thru at McDonald's making $15 an hour. They're all going to quit now until it's 30. And then, of course, well, that's not going to have any effect on our goods and services. Are you kidding me? You're going to pay somebody $30 an hour to say, may I help you today? You have any idea what a Big Mac is going to cost after that? Oh, because corporations are not going to pass that on to you and me? Give me a break. And with what's happening in Shanghai right now, all of that was designed to shut down and hurt our supply chain, once again creating problems within our economy. And Russia and China have gone together, and they are going to create a parallel economy to the one that the United States has built and uses around the world for the giving of credit and loans, etc., etc., etc. And pretty soon, some of these European nations that we're always taking the stand for, like France, because we need to join with them on like climate change and, all these other Euro nations that we're constantly drooling over, thinking that theirs is the way that we need to emulate. You do understand that when China and Russia really build their parallel economy, where they got their own versions of PayPal, their own everything like the U.S. at better interest rates, you understand Europe is going to jump ship, right? You understand there's no loyalty there? Okay, got all that off my chest, because what is it that Biden is really focused on? Well, we, through Homeland Security, it is time that we have a disinformation governance board. You heard me. Literally hours after Ellon Musk purchased Twitter, and it became known and a settled fact that Ellon Musk will assume full control of Twitter. Now, all of a sudden, the Biden administration is interested in what happens on social media platforms. So, in other words, when Elon Musk announces that Twitter is going to be an open free speech platform, because you can't really have a two-way conversation if you're only getting one side of a conversation. That's not a conversation, that's an echo chamber, which is all Twitter is. It is a libloon echo chamber. So now Biden is going to basically create the Truth Commission. Where have we heard this before? Why is the name Joseph Goebbels running through my head? A board which is going to decide what is and what is not truth. Do you understand what's happening? Do you understand that some of the so-called quasi type conservatives that have got YouTube channels and radio shows are talking about. Now look, we got to stop thinking that everything Joe Biden's doing is destroying the country. No, everything Joe Biden does is destroying the country. And I'm not just talking about our economy, but it's literally the American way of life and the complete erosion of your liberties and your rights. That is now just an illusion and a delusion. We don't have rights, we have privileges. See, a right is something that is guaranteed, it can't be taken away. But we found out really quickly during the pandemic just how a right becomes a privilege that they can decide to just pull in a moment, including your ability to breathe fresh air. Do you understand the kind of power these mongrels have taken and consumed and assumed to themselves now? Do you understand the rate that they are destroying this nation? We're no longer interested in building up an armed forces that can actually do business around the planet. No, they got to be woke like everything else is woke. And so Joe Biden will now try to, using the government, because apparently this is dangerous. If Twitter could be sold, maybe Google could too. What would happen then if we took all of the clamps off the algorithms on a search engine and people could actually find the information they're looking for? What if YouTube got sold? What if it became what it once was? What if all these avenues that became so wildly popular and really control the way we disseminate information because they all got in bed with the intelligence community? You really, you look at Mark Zuckerberg, and you really think that this college nerd geek had the personality to pull off making something like Facebook the most widely used and successful social media platform of all time because of his exciting charisma? He was able to sell it. Or did the intelligence community say, hey, Mark, you're going to help us keep track in our police state of everything and everybody. You'll have limitless funding and limitless growth, but you will play ball with us. And all the social media platforms ever gone anywhere, that's what's happened. And all of the alternative social media platforms, and there are several out there, they're popular within their demographic, within their group, but they just become little echo chambers. And they won't play ball with the intelligentsia community, therefore they only gain a certain level. And then, of course, they can't even get off the ground and get on a platform like Google or Apple or any of the main servers, many of which are owned by Jeff Bezos at Amazon. Isn't that funny how that works? And so now they're not even, trying to hide behind anymore. Well, these are private companies and they can decide if they think some speech on their platform is wrong and hateful and it's got to go. Now Joe Biden is basically saying, look, we're going to set up our own panel and we're going to do the monitoring and the policing, and you will do what we tell you. That's Biden's America. And in Biden's America, we have, again, Peppermint Patty, Jen Psaki, crying over what Governor Ron DeSantis did to poor Walt Disney in Florida and the fact that teachers can't talk openly with 4 and 5-year-olds about their genitalia and their gender. Illinois has just gone the flip opposite as DeSantis, and the governor there is now invoking policies and mandates that teachers in the preschool will teach transgenderism. Do you know in Illinois right now, it is a new vocabulary word for the up-and-coming 2022-23 school season, that would be next fall, that preschool kids learn the vocabulary word non-binary. This is not about education, it's about indoctrination. And I've been telling you for years, get your kids out of the public schools. Get them out, get them out, get them out now. Even if you're an atheist, put your kid in a Christian school. Get your kids out of the public schools. Get them out, get them out, get them out now. They're not educating them, they're indoctrinating them. So that a generation from now, think about where we're at right now. I grew up, typical middle-class American family, 1970s, played in everybody's backyard, didn't have play dates, just got on your bike, and when the street lights came on at night, you had to be home. That was the rule. We played all kinds of stuff outside. Only played inside if it was raining. And even then, we still tried to play on a porch. We didn't necessarily want to be in the house. You're in the house all winter, wanted to be outside all summer. But we played all kinds of stuff, including, if you were a boy, cowboys and Indians. Your bike was your horse. You had your 6 guns. Of course, a kid can't have cap guns anymore because that's gun culture. And you certainly can't, a little boy can't pretend to be an Indian because that's racist. But a grown man can pretend to be a woman. This is the warped, sick ticket society we have become. And we want that normatized. And how dare a governor like Ron DeSantis tell teachers, you're not going to normalize this. So Disney, in their pushback, and they don't like the fact that they've lost their tax status, so therefore they're now telling Florida, well, you'll have to pay up what you owe us. Well, let's see. It's been 50 plus years you've had this free ride. I'm pretty sure in Florida they're going to find a judge to say, yeah, Florida's paid in full. You owe Florida. Because I'm thinking that will be Ron DeSantis' next move. He will countersue Disney for everything that they owe Florida. Because again, you got to understand, by pulling away their special governance status, they had a pretty free ride down there. Not to mention, because they were their own board of governance, they could zone themselves. Can you imagine Disney, who on the one hand loves bureaucracy and wants the bureaucrats to muzzle and stifle Governor Ron DeSantis? Can you imagine if state inspectors start walking through Disney World and start declaring this building's got to come down, this exhibit's got to go, this one's not up to this code, this is... But Disney is going to strike back, just like Joe Biden is striking back against Ellon Musk with a new disinformation governance board. Disney is putting a same-sex kissing scene into the movie Lightyear. You know, it's supposed to be the prequel of the Buzz Lightyear story. So we got to see 2 female cadets make out in a kids' movie. It is time to completely ban Disney. Boycott it. Be done with it. Stop going to the parks. I know, it's hard, but I can tell you, as a 9-year resident of Florida and went to Disney at least once a year, my kids loved it. I had a lot of friends who season pass holders. Let's get real. There are other amusement parks out there that actually, when it comes to rides and fun, are a lot more fun than Disney, especially for teenagers. Go to one of those. Watch the old Mickey Mouse cartoons. Watch the while Walt Disney was still alive stuff, if you can find it. And you better start buying it while you can, because eventually it'll go into the Disney vault forever and disappear. So this is Biden's America, where what's up is down and what's down is up. We call black, white, white, black. Good is evil, evil is good. This is the warped, demonic nation we have become under Joe Biden. Not that it was perfect before, but it is really on steroids on its way to hell now. And it's tragically sad. So, there you have it, boys and girls.